Democratic presidential candidate Senator Cory Booker raised more than $5 million. That puts him right in the middle of the pack. The New Jersey senator spoke with Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan in his hometown of Newark, where he held a weekend rally to launch his national campaign. Booker talked about issues in the race, including immigration.
Do you think this is an empty threat by the president, though, to talk about busing people from the border into these sanctuary cities? He likes to create friction sometimes to jumpstart, he says, a Congress that's not acting.
You say friction, I say he's trying to pit Americans against each other and make us less safe, because what you're seeing now...
So you take the threat seriously?
I take this. He is injecting fear into our country. He is fear-mongering. And what that's done for communities like mine and all across this country is you have immigrant communities that are now afraid to drop their kids off at school, now afraid to give information to the police that we need to protect cities like Newark. And so if he was looking to solve a problem, he wouldn't be doing things to divide this country against itself. Beware of anybody that's trying to tell you to be afraid in the strongest country in the world, as opposed to showing our strength and our courage by pulling people together to find common sense solutions to solve this problem.
Do you actually think that's possible, that candidate Cory Booker and Senator Cory Booker could work with the Trump administration going into an election year on immigration reform?
I'm the guy that just worked with the Trump administration to pass the first, in my lifetime, comprehensive criminal justice reform that's now moving us away from mass incarceration. I had constant conference calls with people in the White House to work out a deal. If I'm president of the United States, I will not violate our values. I will not violate human rights. I will keep our country safe and find a bipartisan, comprehensive immigration reform law that honors dreamers, that gives people pathways to citizenship, and does more to protect our border.
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, she's being criticized for the way she phrased a reference to 9/11. And President Trump has since posted a video of the towers falling and her image interspersed with that. What do you make of this back and forth?
You know, I live in a community where we know folks who were killed. New Jerseyans were killed. Friends of mine were killed in those towers. And in the aftermath of that, you saw how our country united, put aside partisan differences to deal with the challenges to America. And now, years later, to see a president of the United States to use images of 9/11 in a vicious, crass, disgusting way, that is so objectionable. That is so offensive. And this is what I mean about moral vandalism in our country that's going on from the highest offices, stoking hatred, stoking fears, pitting people against each other.
You have put forward a bill to study the possibility of giving reparations to repair the original sin, as you referred to it, of slavery in this country. How would that work? How would reparations work?
Well, first of all, I don't know. That's why I want to study. I want to bring the best minds together. So I don't have all the answers. And so I put a bill in that simply says, hey, let's talk about a lot of these issues and wounds going back to slavery, and figure out a way how we can maybe do things today that can help us to balance the economic scales and have a country where we all do well. Because I feel like we're getting to a point in America where we're talking about tolerance, that we're a nation of tolerance. It's just that's something proud to be about. Tolerance says, I mean, heck, go home tonight and tell somebody you live with that you tolerate them. That's not a big compliment. There are a lot of communities who are not getting their fair shake, and I think it's about time we talk about that directly and do things to try to make sure that everybody ultimately has what we need to have, which is what we say we are as a nation where we recognize the sort of inalienable rights that all in this country are created equal.
That phrase, moral vandalism, I think really strikes me. I heard it and I thought that makes a lot of sense. And you can see exactly what he's saying there. You know, as I said earlier, Margaret had done this interview for Face the Nation. We're going to put it up online so you can see the full interview. She emailed me over the weekend and said it's very strong, very powerful. They walked through the streets of Newark, had a very successful launch this weekend, and they covered a lot of subjects.
I'll look for
race ahead. Yes, and he's ready for the long haul on this, he says.